Assalamu alaikum students. Today we are going to start the new unit, that is electrostatics. Means that electro means that related to electricity, electrons, and static means at rest. So when we are going to study when the charges when they are at rest. Now the first is that we SLO is that what is an electric charge. Now in this we are going to describe simple experiments to show the production and detection of charge and the potential danger of this static charge. Now the first is that what is an electric charge. Now, electric charge is a fundamental property of matter, and every matter is made up of these two kind of charges, that is positive and negative charge. If the body has an excess of electron, it has to be negatively charged, and if the body has a deficiency of electron, it is positively charged. For instance, there are two uncharged body. Uh, when we rub them together, there is a transfer of electron and the cloth gains electron from this rod, so it become excess of electron, so it become negatively charged, and because this rod loses the electron, so there is a deficiency of electron over there, so it become positively charged. Now the this is an just is a review of your atomic structure. We know that the nucleus is made up of equal number of proton and neutrons, and charge on the nucleus is positive because of the proton, because neutron do not carry any charge, and the electrons revolving around the nucleus is equal to the number of proton is equal to the number of electron, and it carries the negative charge. Now, if an by any means this atom loses a electron, so there are 5 electrons and 6 protons over there. So there is a deficiency of electron in this atomic in this atom, and because of this positive charge, this atom is positively charged because it loses electrons and it has more number of protons. And if by any means this atom gains an electron, it means there is electron becomes 7 and the number of proton will remain 6. It means it's an excess of electron on this atom, so this atom will become negatively charged. So this is how we are going to charge the body. This process of charging a body uh, is three ways we can charge the bodies. The first way is friction. Friction is the transfer of electrons from material to different through friction by rubbing. If two different material are rubbed together, there is a transfer of electron from one material to another. There is a another way is the conduction or contact. If the one charged material is in contact with another uncharged neutral material, there is a transfer of electron from one material to the other, and the other material also become charged. Induction is uh, another way of charging, in which if a charged object is brought near to a neutral object, because of the presence of the charged object, the in the neutral object there is a rearrangement of the charges, such that if we brought a negatively charged object near, the negative charge of the neutral object are repelled and the positive charges are attracted, so the one side become negative charge and the other side become positive charge. So this is in induction. uh, there are two kind of charges are developed on a body. In conduction, if a negative rod is brought near to the is touched to the other material, then there is a transfer, means both are same charge. So I'm going to show how this happens. Is You can see that friction, rubbing a balloon on your hair causes electrons to move from hair to balloon, and because both are differently charged, so they attract each other. In this negatively charged scale is brought is touched to the metal rod. There is a movement of electron from the rod to from the ruler to the rod, and this soon this rod become negatively charged because there is a flow of electron to that. You can see conduction, the same charges are developed on the other object. But you can see in induction, if a negatively charged balloon is brought near a metal plate, neutral metal plate, this in this the positive charges are attracted to the balloon, and the negative charges are repelled to one side. So there is a temporary rearrangement of the charges that make this body one kind of charge on one side and and another kind to the other side. Now, but you can see that the different charges are over there. Not like conduction, we have the same charge, but induction, we have the different charge. Now, I'm going to show you charging by friction. If two materials are rubbed together, you can see this uh, rag loses the charges, and the electrons move from this to this PVC pipe, and PVC pipe have more number of electrons, so this become negatively charged and this will remain positively charged. This is done by friction. Now, the other is induction, and induction, you can see the two different kind of charges are developed on that. um, Now you can see this negatively charged rod is brought near, and all the electrons are repelled to one side, and the other side there is a positive charge only. Now again you can see that. Now, so the third way is your conduction. Now you can see this uh, pipe is touched with this metal sphere, and there is a transfer of electron. In induction, you can see that they are brought near only, they are never touched, but in conduction you can see that they are touched. So the touching produces the same kind of charge on it. Now, so conclusion, overall conclusion is that electrical object, an object with more electrons than proton is said to have carry a negative charge. An object with more proton than electron is said to carry a positive charge. And charging by friction occurs when two different materials rub against each other, and the material with the greater affinity for electron become negative and other that loses become positively charged. Now, how we are going to find that? When two neutral bodies are rubbed, there is some transfer of electron from one body to another body, and the body that gains electron, that has an affinity for electron, means they have more electrons and they become positively charged, and other they become negatively charged, and the body that loses the electron will become positively charged. Like this, a glass rod will lose electron when rubbed with the silk cloth, and silk cloth will gain electrons. So a cloth have more number of electron, and the glass rod has a deficiency of electron, so it become positive, and the other cloth will become negatively charged. So, and similarly you can see that over here, they both are electrically, they are both are neutral, equal number of positive and negative charge. The rubbing means that there is a transfer of electrons from cloth to glass rod, and this become negatively charged and positively charged, and the glass rod will become negatively charged as it gain electron. So similarly, when an ebonite rod is rubbed with the fur cloth, ebonite rod will become negative charge because it has a strong affinity for electron, and the fur cloth will become positive charge because it loses. Now, how we are going to find that which material become negative, and which material gains electron and which loses electron? You can see there is a chart over here. This chart will tell you, for instance, the upper ones, when we are taking two materials, like if I'm taking rubber and plastic, it means the rubber is when we are going to rub them together, the rubber will gain electron, it will become negative, and the the other one will become positive. You take any two. If plastic is rubbed with the wool cloth, it means that plastic is negative and the wool cloth will have uh, a positive charge. So similarly, if this wool is rubbed with the glass, the wool will become negative and glass will become positive. So when you are taking two materials, the upper ones will always be negative and the lower one will be the positively charged. So from these activity, we conclude that charge is a basic property of a material body due to which it attracts or repel each other. Friction produces two different type of charges on different materials. Like charges attract always repel each other, and unlike charges always attract each other. And repulsion is the sure test of charges on the body. Means that if if there is a one neutral body and other is a charged body, if we brought them near, there is always a attraction between them because of induction. But if the other body is also negatively charged, or we brought two positive charges together, there is a repulsion showing that the two bodies are charged bodies. So you can watch this video, see that how these charges are developed.
This out. How did I do that? What was going on there? Was it magic? No, it was science. Well, what you didn't see me do was rub this straw on this fur and charge it up. Well, what do I mean when I say charge it up? Well, through science, we've discovered that all matter is made of positive and negative charges. And sometimes some of that matter we can actually rub off only the negative charges. And that allows us to do some really interesting things. Remember, by me rubbing this straw on this fur, I'm putting more negative charges on the straw. And through science, we've discovered that positive and negative charges attract, they come together. Think of it like this: when the charges are different, they want to come together. But when the charges are the same, they want to push apart. And scientists call that static electricity. So now let's take a look at this. So I have a can, and remember, we said that all matter is made of positive and negative charges. This can is not charged, so it's made of positive and negative charges. Now watch what I do here. I'm going to rub this balloon on the same fur that I rubbed the straw on, and it's going to pick up a whole lot of extra negative charges. What do you think is going to happen when I take this balloon and put it toward the can? Will the can push away, or will the can roll toward the balloon? Let's take a look and find out. Here we go. Negative charges on the balloon. The can is made of positive and negative charges. What just happened there? The positive charges on this can were attracted to the lots of negative charges on this balloon. Let's see if we can do that again and see how fast we can get this can going, maybe race it off the table. Can races with static electricity. So remember, we said all matter is made of positive and negative charges, and that also holds true for liquid matter. Here I have a container of water and I have a cup with a hole punched in the bottom. I'm going to fill this cup with water, hold it up and let the water drip out the bottom of the cup, and then hold my balloon up to that stream of water. Let's see what happens. Is the water going to be pushed away from the balloon, or is it going to be pulled toward the balloon? So now I'm going to rub the balloon and charge it up with lots of negative charges. Hold up my cup, and you can see the water is pulled toward the balloon. So what does that mean? Well, I had a lot of extra negative charges on here. What kind of charges attract? Well, opposite charges attract. So that means this water must have lots of positive charges. So what does that mean? That means as I rub the balloon on the fur and I charge it with lots of extra negative charges, if that water is pulled toward the balloon, that water must have positive charges in it. So we know that.
Okay, now you can see that all the material poses the have the positive and the negative charge in them, and like the solid and liquid both. Okay, now then detection. When we charge any object by rubbing or by any way, how we are going to detect that this is that the object is charged or not. Now, for you, just to know that we have to uh, we have to have another object with the known positive or negative charge. For instance, if I know or I know that this glass rod is positively charged, if I take that glass rod toward that object, if the object either attract or repel, showing that the other object is also the charged one. So, and this is why I'm telling, we discussed that earlier, that repulsion is the sure test of the sure test that the both bodies are charged, because in induction the opposite charges attract each other. Now, uh, there is an instrument that is called electroscope that is also used to detect the presence of charge, kind of charge, and distinguish between conductor and insulator. And we are going to discuss electroscope later. Now, you can see that if this rod has gained electron, when it is rubbed with the cloth loses the electrons and this rod become negatively charged. Now, if I brought, this is a known charged body, I know that it is negatively charged. If I brought this rod near to it, you can see there is a repulsion between the two, showing that both the objects are charged. Similarly, if the both the rods are positively charged, they will repel, and if there is two different kind of charges on it, if then they will attract. So attraction, so this is how we are going to know that the body, the other the object is charged or not. So you just watch this.
To learn about static electricity. And this is Paul. He works for Baker, the industry leader in anti-static fiber technology. Paul, how does static electricity work? Well, it's an imbalance between negative and positive charges in objects. But what does this mean? You've probably experienced it yourself when you pulled off a woolen sweater and the hairs on your arms stood up. Well, that's electrostatic energy. In practice, this could be bad, like when touching electronic parts or even people. But even without a woolen sweater, there's always a chance static electricity could build up. However, Baker has a practical solution for these problems. Just watch these examples. Paul is inspecting a gas plant. With each step he takes, he becomes more and more charged due to the rubbing of his arms with his clothing. Charged Paul touches a gas tap, and he feels a spark. Paul has to repair a gas leakage. He walks through the gas plant, and with each step he takes, he becomes more and more charged. The charges are coming from his feet and from above, due to the rubbing of his arms with his clothing. Charged Paul approaches the gas pipe, which has a gas leakage, and touches the pipe. Paul is heading over to a production unit. He comes in the proximity of a charged big bag, and the charges are attracted to Paul's clothing by induction. Charged Paul approaches a metal gas pipe, which has a gas leakage, and touches the pipe. Well, Paul, these examples have shown us how static electricity is created. Electrostatic energy builds up in three ways. Through the movement of a person, like the contact and separation of their shoe soles and the ground. Also, through the contact of a person's clothing and their body. And lastly, by induction. For example, when a person comes into the electrical field of a charged object. And what affected the charge your body built up in these last examples? Two factors. One, the resistance of a person to the ground. The higher the resistance, the higher the charge. And two, the atmospheric humidity. The lower the relative humidity, the higher the charge. Paul is inspecting the plant, but this time he's wearing anti-static shoes, in addition to the anti-static workwear. When he walks, the charges created by rubbing his arms against his clothing are immediately grounded. No sparks or explosions occur when he touches a metal gas tap or pipe. Paul is heading over to the production unit, but this time he's wearing anti-static shoes in addition to the anti-static workwear. He comes in the proximity of a charged big bag, and the charges are attracted to Paul's clothing by induction. The charges immediately flow over Paul to the ground. When Paul moves away from the charged big bag, the flow of charges from the big bag to the person stop, and the remaining charges leave Paul and are grounded. Well, Paul, why do we need to be grounded? To prevent charge buildup on a person and their clothing, and to provide static charges on a person or on their clothing a path to ground to prevent shocks or explosions in the future. How can we ground ourselves? In potentially explosive atmospheres, personnel are grounded by wearing anti-static shoes in combination with anti-static garments. We hope Paul demonstrated the advantages of wearing proper protection.
Okay, now you have seen this video, and what is shown in the video is the uh, danger of static charge. Now you can see that we are going to discuss the potential danger of electrostatic charge, and you can see that that person is walking is walking, and because of the friction between the sole and the ground, or between, if we are walking on a carpet is an insulator, so the friction between the foot and the carpet develop charges on our body, and when we touch any conductor, there with this charge, uh, the charge from the body discharges, and it makes a spark over there, and that spark uh, is dangerous, and it can be a explosion over there. For instance, why it is dangerous? Uh, when the static charge come with the transfer of charge, so greater the charge, greater it creates a spark, and most of the common occurrence of a static charge danger is the refueling of a vehicle. The driver may carry an excess of electrons while he was driving, and when he touches the fuel pump, there may be a spark over there, and the spark may be volatile because of the gasoline, and may explode over, there is an explosion over there. Also there is a danger of static electric shock when the object builds up too much electric charge, uh, and when there is a, you can see there is a low humidity, means that low humidity means there is a high resistance, so the our body accumulates the charges, and when we touch any conductor, there is a spark over there, and we may be, if the charge is more, we may receive a shock over there, and you all experience this kind of this during the winter season, when you pull off your cardigan, or you can see you can pull off your cardigan, or you just touch each other, so you can see the many times there is a spark over there. Now this spark is dangerous because of the static electricity. For example, when the aeroplanes are refueling, while the refueling, the pipes can provide the extra friction needed to create a static charge. To prevent this, the aircraft are earth means that metal conductor is placed from the aircraft to the earth, so that any static charge, just like you have seen in that movie, in that video, there is a there are shoes, those who conduct are constantly discharging that person, the charges are going to the ground. Similarly, that earth, that strap, or that chain, or that anything that is metal, that is connected between the nozzle of the pipe nozzle or pipes to the ground, make the excess charge because of the friction, whatever is the excess charge built up over there, they are taken to the earth. so there is no charge left on the nozzle or the pipe, so there is a less danger of spark. Similarly, when the aeroplane is flying, there is a charges are created on the surface of the aircraft and the aircraft piping system piping system. These are also dangerous. So uh, the tires of the aeroplane are made with the special conductive rubber that in the presence of that whenever the aircraft touches the ground, because of this conductive tires, all the charges, that is static charge that is built up on the aeroplane body, it is discharged. So this is the how we are going to reduce the risk of the explosion. So this is all. So thank you. This is all about what is charges and what are how the charges, potential danger of the charges, and the production and detection of the charges. Inshallah, we are going to meet next in the next unit. Thank you and Allah Hafiz.